Thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. On today's review, we take a look at the Hot Toys Batman Arkham Origins Deathstroke. Today I'll be reviewing this figure in 6 categories: accessories, articulation, design, is it essential to your collection, functionality, and price. Once all scores are totaled, I'll give you my opinion if this figure is a pass or a purchase. So before we jump into the review, it's actually been a while since I've done my last review. I assure you that I am still collecting. I've just been unable to find time to edit and to shoot videos. So moving forward, in order to get more videos out, I may just do a hard video, meaning less edits, more errors. We'll see as time goes on, but I assure you that I am still collecting. So in terms of accessories, Deathstroke comes with a lot of things. So let's take a look at them. So one of the things first up would be the ballistic staff. Not 100% sure if that's the name of this item in the game. However, it's done very well. Metallic colors throughout. And the orange appears to be a matte finish. So there are some things that I really like about this. We'll break that down more in the functionality department. So Deathstroke also comes with 2 grenades. At first look, I feel that they're actually too big for his hand. I feel that they're not sized appropriately. I could be incorrect with that. We'll see how this works out later on in the functionality department. Deathstroke comes with a weapon which is done very well, a handgun. You notice I'm saying handgun because I don't want to get this weapon wrong. So I don't recall Hot Toys doing this previously. This part that the hammer is able to move up and down could have been something they've done in the past and maybe I just didn't notice. But it's done very well. So let's take a look at what I'm calling the back claw. Feel free to correct me in the comments. I'm just going by what I think the weapons are called. So this is done well. Not a lot of weathering. Really, there's no weathering as far as I can see. I really like the gauge, and if you're wondering, the gauge is not functional. And then you have these accessories which attach onto the back claw. So Deathstroke comes with a number of hands. I will not go through them all. There are 9 hands in total. They're done with a semi-soft, not sure if this is plastic or rubber, but I like the coloring. I like the fading as the gloves appear to have some wear to them. He also comes with this scabbard. I really don't care for this. It just seems too big, and this is not on Hot Toys. I believe that this is very accurate to the game itself, but it's done well with weathering. I am just not a fan of how it looks. Deathstroke also comes with, forgot to show this accessory, something else that attaches to the back claw. I guess we'll just call it a cable for now. He comes with a smaller chest plate, which allows him to have more range of movement. So this is a great accessory. Pretty impressed that Hot Toys actually thought about incorporating this piece. So he comes with a katana, which is done well. Metallic silver, black finish, and some orange. I just wish Hot Toys went back to their die-cast weapons. Really not a fan of the plastic accessories. He also comes with 2 pegs, 2 additional wrist pegs rather. Not sure what to call this, tactical pouches. That sounds pretty good to me, so that's what we'll call it. I really like how this is done. Not 100% sure if this is functional. We'll find out together as we go through or down the video. So this is done really well. I like the fabric that was used for these pouches. And they could actually move as well. And he comes with a stand. So the only accessory that I can remember that's actually missing from the game would be an alternate head sculpt. Sadly, We do not receive a Slade head sculpt. I feel if that would have came with all of the accessories, it would have been an easy 10. But not incorporating that head sculpt was really a miss by Hot Toys, being that the majority of the fight scene between Batman and Deathstroke, I want to say that he was unmasked for most of that fight. So not to have an unmasked head sculpt, Hot Toys really shorted us. So for accessories, I'm going to give Deathstroke an 8 out of 10. So for articulation, I want to actually remove this chest piece and put in place the smaller. So it's very easy to do so. Just grip it at the top, sort of pull it down. There are 2 pegs which hold it in place, and simply use the newer version to attach in the same place. And it's that easy. So let's start with the head. So the head is able to look up about, well, it's able to look up pretty far. However, it's naturally falling down. So I guess it's fair to say the head is able to look up about that much, which truly isn't a lot. The head is able to look down about that much. It's able to rotate a full 360, go side to side. You get a great amount of pivot. The bandanas in the back are also articulated. So the shoulders are able to come, we're going to leave that off. The shoulders are able to come up about that much. You get it to rotate about this much before the fear that the material may start to rip. So this is as far as I'm willing to go. The arm is able to go out about that much. And there are butterfly joints, which I believe are very lovely. They come in about that much, go back about that much. So you're not able to get a lot of rotation because of some of the plastic pieces imitating armor. So you get about that much of rotation. There is, let's see, there doesn't appear to be any any forearm. Wow, I'm all over the place. There doesn't appear to be any bicep cut. It's very hard to tell. There is bicep cut, actually. You can feel it and see it right here. So you're able to get about that much rotation. The arm is able to come up about this much. So double jointed elbows. This is pretty good. I'm okay with that. So the gauntlet or armor piece moves, and you get rotation at the wrist, which pop off pretty easily. Kind of have an ongoing thing about Hot Toys and their pegs, but we'll save that for another story. And I don't want to be bothered with that. So it's able to rotate. Once you find the hinge, it's able to hinge up and down as well as side to side. Now coming to the torso itself is very limited. So you're not able to move it back at all. Forward, barely any, and I can tell that it's a crunch here. It just will not give way. I'm not 100% sure of this torso. It's one piece, it may be. So you get a decent amount of pivot. Okay, rotation. So the legs are able to move that far apart before the fabric is about to pull too much. The legs are able to kick out about that much, go back about that much, uppercut, double jointed knees going in about this much, not too bad. You do get movement at the boot. It turns, it goes up, it goes down, and you actually get a good amount of pivot. So overall, the articulation is very limiting. You get excellent butterfly joints. However, you do not get a lot of movement in the arms themselves. The complete torso is very restricted. The lack of mobility for the head to be able to stay up. And in the legs, I thought that you would get better range, but you do not. So for articulation, Being that Deathstroke is a ninja type character, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10 for articulation. So for design, Hot Toys did their thing. This figure looks amazing. The sculpt work is fabulous. All of the nicks and crannies throughout the entire figure from head to toe, the dents and dings, the combination of paint. This just came out so well. And just the eyes sort of peeking through. Pretty sure that's not going to come out on camera, but I assure you that it's there. Like, they really went above and beyond with this. And for design, I'm going to give Deathstroke a 10 out of 10. So is Deathstroke essential to your collection? In a sea of 1/6 Batman figures, he's absolutely essential. We don't receive a lot of DC villains. So to get one that's this iconic and looks this fabulous, it is absolutely essential to your collection, and I'm giving Deathstroke a 10 out of 10. So now for functionality. There are some things that are done great, some things that are done good, and there are things that are not done so well. So let's go over them. So I'm going to start with the very top. The fact that the head is able to look this far, but the moment you let it go, it comes crashing back down. One of the things that I'm very happy with is that these are posable. So that's something that I really like. Now, one thing that Hot Toys has gotten right and was a genius move was to include the 2 chest pieces. The issue that I'm having with mine is that both are falling off continuously. The moment that I move him, they just pop right off. So I'm to the point to where I feel like gluing it in place or actually sending it back and having them send me another one. So the arms are very limiting, and I guess I'm going to say it can't be helped due to how the figure itself is designed. I am not sure how this is going to hold up over time. For those, if you can see this, this is actually cloth. It's supposed to mimic, what do you call it? Chainmail. So it's done in fabric. I would be very cautious about continuously bending the arms around this area because I'm not sure how that will hold up over time. So another issue that I'm having, and it's not just with this figure, it's a lot of my Hot Toy figures. The hands pop off relatively easy, sort of the moment that I pose the figure or try to prop something in his hand, they come off. So I just wish that Hot Toys would include hands that actually have the pegs already included so that you can just pop them in and out. It would be much easier. Another issue would be the hand selection. So I went through all of the hands, and this is perhaps the only hand that has sort of a trigger finger, but the weapon doesn't fit well in the hand. So the grip part is a bit too big, so you have to really force it in. And as you force it in, it makes the pinky finger sort of protrude out. Also, what should be the trigger finger is way too long, so it's actually overshooting the trigger. And even if you try to pin it in, then the gun is held in this awkward position. And if you work to put it down, it just pops back up. So let's just move on with the hands and another accessory. Okay, so let's go to the grenade next, and let's go through some of the hands. So if you look how this hand is sort of positioned, the grenade is not meant to fit here. So you can force it in place and it'll stay. However, this isn't how a grenade is held or thrown. So I'm going to say that this is the incorrect hand. So now moving to a hand which is more open, the grenade is actually too big. Excuse me, the hands are actually separated too far apart. So if you were to put the grenade here to hold it, the hand has to be held down this way. And again, it's not the natural way to hold or throw a grenade. Moving on to another hand, I thought originally that this was the hand for the grenade. But again, it just does not hold the grenade properly. And if you're wondering, the ring, it's movable, but it doesn't come out that much. I'm actually scared to push it beyond that. So you can get it to sit, but it's just not made for this hand. And now moving on to the last of the hands, it's just not a good fit for the grenade. Okay, so this one is actually holding, but again, there it is. It sort of fell out. So it's not a natural fit for the grenade. So I wish Hot Toys would have included hands that were made for the weapons. And it's not just with the gun and the grenade. With the staff bow, it is very wide in these areas, so the hands doesn't fit around here particularly well either. So one of the accessories that I particularly like is this. So even though the pouches aren't functional, they do look great, they feel great. So I haven't looked at the instructions to how to put this on. I'm assuming simply remove the head, slide it up the arm like so, and it should fit in place somewhat this way. And the reason that I'm assuming that this is correct, if you see in the back, I'll remove this tab. I don't need to remove it. Can actually slide this down, and there's a hole in Deathstroke back, which is meant for the scabbard to attach. And in this leather piece, there's actually a hole here. So I thought that was done very well by Hot Toys. So essentially you take this and you plug it in. Not sure if I'm going to be able to do it on camera. I'll give it a quick try. Okay, it's going to be a lot easier to do it off camera. So I'm very happy with this as it serves a few purposes. So the very first is it locks in place. So this is not moving all over the place, and it actually holds this in place as well, which now sits pretty firmly over my chest piece, and maybe it won't fall off. So those are one of the things that I like. And very easily, the katana is able to slide in and out. So moving Deathstroke to the side for a moment, I want to focus on one of the weapons, which is the Bat Claw. So this is the second time that I called it that, so I'm assuming that that name is pretty accurate, but I'm pretty sure you will tell me if it is not. So this comes with additional accessories. So what I typically like to do is just to snap these two pieces in place, like so. Find the port, which is here, and connect it like so. And I really like that the arms are articulated. So this is great. The arms here are not articulated. And it also comes with the string, I guess we'll call it. And it's unable to plug in if these pieces are connected. However, if you detach it, I'm assuming that you can plug it in here. Well, doesn't make for a good, yeah, it doesn't stay in place. So let's actually try it this way. Okay, so the larger end does not fit in the port and the smaller end is too small. So maybe it's not meant to go in here. So moving on to the last accessory will be the static bow. And perhaps this is one of my favorite accessories, and here's the reason why. So this item is extremely long. However, you are able to detach it at this end. Be very careful when you do so. And you're able to detach it again from this end. Again, be careful when you do so. So once that's detached, actually, let me turn the light down just a little. Hot Toys provided us with 2 pieces that can attach to both ends. And now it makes this much shorter. So it gives you sort of the compact size of it. I like this a lot. So actually, before moving Deathstroke to the side, I nearly forgot that Deathstroke has a compartment to store the weapon, which I like a lot. He also has a compartment to store the grenades. So behind this pouch, it's going to be very hard to see. There are 2 semicircles made of fabric. You can simply take the grenade handle here, this black part, use it like so to just catch one of those hoops. And once you have the hoop, just bring the grenade around like so, and then attaches. No, it's not the easiest thing to see on camera, but I assure you that it's very easy to attach using that method. So for functionality, the hands aren't really helpful to this figure. Hot Toys could have done a much better job making sure that the hands that were made were really fit for each weapon that Deathstroke comes with, because he comes with a number of weapons. So one of the highlights for this figure are the weapons. For most of them, there's areas to where each weapon can be stored. And for the long staff that Deathstroke has, you're actually able to break it apart and shorten it. So for functionality, I'm going to give Deathstroke a 7 out of 10. So for pricing, Deathstroke comes in at around $255, and that's before shipping. Add in shipping, you're looking at a price point of around $275. So is he worth it? Well, first of all, let's see what he comes with. He comes with a hell of a lot of accessories, nearly everything that was used in the game. The drawback is that we do not have an unmasked head sculpt. And usually for this price point, and I'm looking at the Superman figures, I'm looking at Batman, and I'm looking at Spider-Man figures, those typically come with an alternate head sculpt for around that $255 price point. So for this price, I feel that that accessory should have been included. So with any action figure, I feel that there are some drawbacks, and I feel like I took a lot of times in the functionality department to talk about that, so I won't recap that information. However, with Deathstroke, I feel like it's a bit easy to overlook those things. One, it's Deathstroke, so we're getting an iconic villain to add to our Batman shelf. That alone, for me, makes me look past a lot of the imperfections, and I assure you there are imperfections. He just looks so damn good. So for pricing, I'm going to give Deathstroke an 8 out of 10, which gives him an overall cliff score of 49 out of 60. So now, is Deathstroke a pass or a purchase? He is absolutely a purchase. If you are a 1/6 scale DC collector, you certainly want to add this to your collection. I don't believe that you will be disappointed. So I am hoping that Hot Toys continues to pump out figures from these video games. Please, we desperately need a Mr. Freeze. And the Mr. Freeze in the video game was fabulous. And the other figure that I want so bad would be the Batman within the armored suit. Those figures I would love to have to this collection. And there are many more. The game had some great villains. But those 2 figures are on my list above all else. So here's Deathstroke on his own. Here's Deathstroke next to the Arkham Knight. They are about the same size. And it looks like they may share the same body mold. Not 100% sure, just giving it a rough gaze. And here's Deathstroke next to Deadshot from the god-awful Suicide Squad movie. However, we did get a great 1/6 action figure. And Deathstroke is much more bulkier than Deadshot. And for the final comparison, here's Deathstroke next to Batman, and Batman is standing taller than Deathstroke. So I want to thank you for sticking around and tuning into this video. There may be some mistakes as I am not going to take a lot of time to edit this video, as it was more important for me to get the video out than to get everything in it correct. So if you hear some mistakes, which I'm pretty sure you will, just understand that it was more important for me to actually complete the video. So come on back, and I hope to see you during the next review.